Tackles and Tinnies, we're back and we have the New South Wales Blues jerseys 1 to 19. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my analysis, and a bit of a breakdown on who could be contenders and who are pretenders. But I think there's some interesting conversation points from position to position. Obviously, some jerseys 100% given to them, but let's just go straight into it. New South Wales Blues, let me know how I go. At fullback, I've got Dylan Edwards. I think it's a two-horse race. I think we can argue that Dylan Edwards, on his day, is one of the best fullbacks around. He's super safe in a winning team, super consistent this year. Got the connection with more than likely the halfback being Nathan Cleary, as we all know. He's got some other boys that he's played with. Too much Panthers ball has always been the question for New South Wales Blues. However, I think this year Dylan Edwards has taken this game to another level. His running game's been amazing. Defense has always been elite. His communication at the back is very, very good. The other guy we could talk about is James Tedesco. Now, I'm hoping for my sake, due to NRL Supercoach, that Tedesco does not get picked. However, he could definitely be there in abouts. However, I think Tedesco, due to his age, I think they would be looking to have a little bit more consistency with the fullback position for the long term. And Dylan Edwards, I think, has earned the right to hold his position. However, Tedesco is definitely banging on the door. If New South Wales Blues do not win Game 1 and Dylan Edwards underperforms, I do think James Tedesco will have the jersey for Game 2. However, for Sydney, I do predict Dylan Edwards to have the jersey for Game 1. On the wings, we got the big bop, the little bulldozer, or big bulldozer, I should say, is Brian To'o. He's very, very good. He's the best winger of all time, you could probably argue. He's a great meter reader. He's pretty good under the high ball. Everyone thinks that he's so short he can't catch a ball. Well, bloody oath, he catches every single one of them. Fantastic finisher. I think that's very, very good to note. And he has a lot of connections with the boys who are around. He's a mainstay within the team. He's one of the first picked for the New South Wales Blues. Brian To'o will be on one of your wings, and I do predict it will be on the right wing. Now, on the other wing, huge conversation point here. Obviously, Zach Lomax was there in abouts last year, but he's gone. Now, we could talk about guys like Cameron Murray. We've got the milkman, Jenkins. We have guys like Casey McLean, who is now eligible. We have guys such as maybe Ta'ul Kola. You could get a guy like Campbell Graham. He's been there in abouts. Been sniffing for many, many years trying to get there. Plays centre, plays wing, big body, fantastic defensively. However, my money is on Josh Addo-Carr to get the left-hand wing spot outside his best mate, Latrell Mitchell. Okay, Latrell Mitchell will be at centre, Addo-Carr at left wing. I think Addo-Carr's speed is an underrated and underutilized tool for this team. This team is built around power and aggression and high upside. However, I think they're lacking a little bit of speed overall, so I think Josh Addo-Carr complements the team overall. So I think Josh Addo-Carr gets that left-hand wing spot. Inside him, at left centre, I have Latrell Mitchell. It speaks for himself. He's the most informed player in the NRL at the moment. You give him the ball, you let him cook. Now, Latrell Mitchell can goal kick. He can play fullback. He can play in the halves if need be. He's just an out-and-out gun. He's in form. He is suffering from a little bit of a back injury at the moment. I think it's a disc irritation / bulging, or some would say bulging disc, but a little bit of disc irritation, which has caused him some grief, which made him miss last round. However, he has been named for Magic Round, which is fantastic news for the New South Wales Blues and the Rabbitohs, but that's something he's going to have to manage as well. But Latrell Mitchell, he will definitely be there at left centre. Don't think he goal kicks, but yeah, he's a gun. He'll be there with the Fox. I think that left-hand edge is going to be absolutely dynamo, going against the guys of like who I picked was Robert Toya and Murray Taulagi. That'll be a very, very interesting matchup. Now, at the other centre, again, this could be a controversial point. You've got guys like, again, Campbell Graham. You've got guys like Campbell Graham. You've got Stephen Crichton. You've got Casey McLean. You've got Ta'ul Kola. You've got Tony Staggs. There's many, many, many guys that we could talk about. All of them arguably in pretty good form. However, I'm going to give it to the incumbent in Stephen Crichton. I understand the Bulldogs are absolutely dog shit, pun intended, but Stephen Crichton, I just think he deserves it. He's one of the best defensive centers in the comp. He has that attacking upside when given good ball. The problem with the Bulldogs at the moment, they haven't got an out-and-out halfback, in my opinion. Lachlan Galvin is a 5'8", in my eyes. Stephen Crichton is trying his heart out. coming back from a little bit of an injury scare a couple of weeks ago, but I think Stephen Crichton is that guy, and he goes to another level when he goes to Origin. I think, again, being very good defensively, I think that speaks for himself. Tony Staggs is sniffing on his heels. But Tony Staggs, potentially, he could get that extended bench spot, but we'll get to that soon. Now, at 5'8", I got Mitchell Moses. This is a tough one. You got guys like Ethan Strange, definitely sniffing at his heels. You got Katoa, potentially thereabouts. He's definitely come into form in more recent weeks. But I think Mitchell Moses has got that pedigree. He's got the experience. He's got an extremely good kicking game. He can goal kick. He's got that dog in him. I like him. I understand the Parramatta Eels aren't very good. However, I do think Mitchell Moses goes to another level and complements the halfback being Nathan Cleary. He's your goal kicker. He's your co-captain. Mitchell Moses, Nathan Cleary, 1A, 1B. Both can play on ball. They can play second receiver. I think they complement each other quite well. Obviously, again, at your halfback, you got Nathan Cleary with Mitchell Moses. Again, Nathan Cleary will be your goal kicker and your co-captain. Nathan Cleary, arguably the best halfback in the game, has been for the past few years now. He's getting this Penrith Panthers team that looks like an absolute juggernaut, probably back to another grand final. What more can we say? He's one of the GOATs of the game, and he's only 27 years old. At the front row position. Now, this is one of the hardest ones to pick. New South Wales, you've got an embarrassment of riches. You could pick from many, many different guys. But I'll rephrase here. The front row position, in my eyes, for Origin in 2026, I feel like the game with the 6 again rule, the game is so fast. So I have gone against the big boppers to start the game, and I've gone for a bit more athletic, more mobile pack to help counteract what Queensland plan to do as well. For that reason being, I've got Jackson Ford starting at number 8. He's arguably the most informed front row in the competition. He's a winning team with the New Zealand Warriors. He can play huge minutes at 80 minutes. He's played edge in the past, so if need be, he could always shift there. But again, he's an out-and-out front rower. He's one of the best forwards in the game at the moment. He's on a winning team. I think he deserves his debutant season. And again, with the 6 again rule, I think he's a good starting front rower. I don't like him coming off the bench personally. At number 10, the other front rower, it's your co-captain, it's Isaiah Yeo. You could definitely see him playing at lock, but you got a guy coming back within Cameron Murray. Again, I'll leak that one at lock, but Cameron Murray will be your lock. But Isaiah Yeo, I think he's a better front rower in Origin. Can find his front really, really well. Huge motor, got that tip on ball playing ability. I think he complements with Jackson Ford quite well. Very mobile pack that you guys are going for this year. You could potentially blitz the Queensland if you start hot with this type of pack that I'm building for you guys. Isaiah Yeo can definitely be shifted into the lock position if Cameron Murray needs a spell later on in the game. However, I do like Isaiah Yeo starting at front row, which allows, again, Cameron Murray to then start. Cameron Murray is your lock. Fantastic coming back from an Achilles rupture last year. Obviously played that one game for South Sydney, but I do see Cameron Murray starting at lock. Finds his front really, really well. Quick plays the balls. Those quick play the balls will then go to the guys of like Stephen Crichton, Latrell Mitchell. Okay, these guys getting early ball from Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary due to that quick play the ball and finding his front from Cameron Murray. I think that's fantastic for you New South Welshmen. I love that for you guys. At second row, another hard choice. There's many guys. You've got incumbents like Angus Crichton. You could go a little bit left of field with Keon Kulamatangi, but currently, or even Jacob Preston, he could be there and about. I don't like Jacob Preston being there because of the 2 AC joints that he keeps getting cortisone injections for pre-game. Currently is not in my team. I've leaked it. Jacob Preston is not there at the moment. Definitely could be there and about, and we could argue one guy who's on the bench could take his spot. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments when I get to that. But Hudson Young will be in jersey 11, and Hamoli Olakawatu. 2 powerhouse runners. 2 guys who can score a try for you, get an appeal off Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary. I love that for you guys. I think it's the way to go. Monumental attacking upside. Good aggression. You need aggression on those edges. I think Hudson Young and Hamoli Olakawatu will combat the athleticism of Lukey and Fene Fuiaki, who are my other picks for Queensland. I think they're just better versions of them personally. So yeah, New South Wales, that's devastating as a Queensland guy. Looking at that team that I've got it constructed for you, Hudson Young, Molo Kawatu on the edges. And then again, I've said Cameron Murray will be on your bench. As your lock, sorry. At the hooker position, I've got Reece Robson. A couple of guys we could talk about here. You got Reece Robson, Api Coruscant, Blake Brayley, and even potentially a Connor Watson. I think Connor Watson is not going to be there this year at all. I'm leaking that one. Now, I think that the real debate is Blake Brayley versus Reece Robson. I think Api Coruscant was definitely there and about, but that 3-game suspension, he's going to be lacking game fitness. So I don't think Api Coruscant will be there. If the Blues lose game 1, I could definitely see some switch up here with Reece Robson. However, I think coming back from his injury, he's leading the Roosters into very good form. They're winning games. He's looked great as well. He's running the ball more. I think Reece Robson will take the sting out of the game for you guys, which will then lead to jersey 14 being Blake Brayley. Blake Brayley has a fantastic running game. He's been given the license to run since mid last year. I think Blake Brayley will come on in about 30 minutes after Reece Robson's taken the sting out of the game, and then he'll probably stay on for majority of the game, assuming that you need points. If it's a really tight contest, I can definitely see Reece Robson coming back on and being that tackle bot that he is. Jersey 15 and jersey 16, I've got the big bops now. So we talked about Jackson Ford and we talked about Isaiah Yeo being those mobile forwards. Now let's get the big boppers on. We got Terrell May and Addo-Carr. Now I think Terrell May, obviously from last year, he's got a bit of not a beef per se, but Laurie Daly didn't like the way he talked about the Blues and showcased his patriotism towards the Blues. However, I think Terrell May has redeemed himself. It's a new year. You guys got to hit the best guys in the positions. I think Terrell May is that guy. He's Payne Haas 2.0. He's definitely not as good as Payne Haas, don't get me wrong, but I think Terrell May is a fantastic option, can play that powerhouse type of position like he used to do at the Roosters, or he can play those extended minutes like he did, or is doing, I should say, for the West Tigers. I think Terrell May will definitely be there. Adam Fanua-Blake. Now, with the eligibility change of rules, Adam Fanua-Blake is now eligible for you guys. I do like the idea of him playing 20 to 25 minutes. You could argue Spencer Lenu could be there, maybe an Alex Twal. I don't think if Alex Twal isn't starting, I wouldn't play him. So it's out of really Spencer, Keon, and Adden. For this matchup and lineup and my configuration of this team, I think Adden provides that differentiation that Jackson Ford and Isaiah Yeo don't have. Adam Fanua-Blake is a try-scoring threat with those little crash balls underneath the line. Yeah, I think he is on a winning team. I'd like to see him play Origin. That's why he's in my team anyway. Jersey 17, the demoted Angus Crichton. Okay, obviously in the past few years, he has been in that second row position. He has made that his own. However, I think they need a bit of a change with Hudson Young and Molo Kawatu starting there, meaning that Angus Crichton will then get demoted to the bench. I tell you what, if the Roosters weren't in good form like they have been in the past couple of weeks, Angus Crichton would not be in this team, and I would be looking elsewhere, probably looking at a Keon Kulamatangi. However, Angus Crichton has that versatility, can play edge, can play middle. I think that's super important. And he's quite mobile. And if you have a look at rep footy in more recent times with the Australian team, Angus Crichton was fantastic, playing on that left-hand edge. So if Olakwatu or Hudson Young need a spell, Gus Crichton can definitely go out there. If you're looking for a bit more robust and leg speed, Angus Crichton can definitely play in the middle as well. I like that versatility that he has. But yeah, Keon Kulamatangi was probably the unlucky guy to miss out on this team. He's looking a bit worse where he's got that PCL injury. Supercoach-wise, he's only getting like 50 points. That was a trash buy at the start of the year. But yeah, I don't think Keon's going to be there. I don't think Twal is going to be there. And obviously Payne Haas is not there. So Gus Crichton, you have retained your spot as that versatile middle edge. Jersey 18. Now, you need a half. In my opinion, you need to add that back at half. You could go Jerome Luai. Could definitely be there. You could definitely have a guy like Isaiah Katoa. He was in camp last year for Game 3. But I'm leaning towards Ethan Strange. I think in recent weeks, the Raiders has found a little bit of form, and Ethan Strange has found that running game again. And my God, he's so good in contact. Last round when he was playing, destructive with the ball. can play, and he was in the squad for the Kangaroos as well. So he's getting that big game experience, which is obviously worthy to note. But Ethan Strange can play 5'8", can play centre, chuck him in the middle. Honestly, he can play lock. He's that good, okay? I think Ethan Strange, break glass in case of emergency, he is that guy. He is that guy. Obviously, if Moses goes down, he goes straight to 6. If Cleary goes down, he'll go to 6, and Moses goes to 7. Tony Staggs, he's my jersey 19. Now, we could definitely talk about another outside back and Cooler. Cooler is an out-and-out gun. I'm a Queenslander, and he's arguably probably a top 3 to 5 favourite player for me. So that's saying something as a Queenslander. But I think Tony Staggs played for Australia. Obviously, that's worthy to note. And he's been start of the year, Tony Staggs is pretty mid, but definitely more recent weeks, he's been so destructive, and he's one of the best defensive centres in the comp. Obviously, you guys have a lot of versatility in the back line. You've got Latrell Mitchell, who could definitely go straight to fullback. So I'm not too worried there. Tony Staggs is an out-and-out centre. So, again, you'd have to be shifting some other guys around. Stephen Crichton probably then goes to the wing. Cool in regards to his versatility in the back line, probably has a better argument. However, I think Tony Staggs going off form in more recent weeks and his destructive game-breaking nature, I think Tony Staggs just pips him. But I could definitely see you guys arguing that Cooler is that guy. But that's my team, guys. There's definitely some guys who are unlucky to miss out on this team. Some guys who are a little bit out of form, like Keon. Tedesco is probably the biggest omission over Dylan Edwards. Again, Keon, Twali, Cooler. These are probably the guys that are a bit unlucky. Jacob Preston, another guy. But let me know in the comments, how did I go? How do you think this team is constructed? I'm looking for speed, athleticism, and absolute dynamism to start the game. And then you've got those big, destructive, powerful athletes coming off the bench. And Blake Bailey, when the game loosens up a little bit with a bit of fatigue, Blake Bailey comes on and relieves Reece Robson. Let me know in the comments, guys. Time you watch this, you can watch the Queensland one. I'll also have my mates' teams list that I can go over in detail as well. But Origin teams will be picked after Magic Round. I'm excited. Let me know. Love you guys. Talk soon.